Hello everyone, it's Giselle from Kids Yoga Stories, and for today's yoga story time, let's read Mia's Mountain Hike, a forest yoga book for kids. Now what makes this book unique is that it's a yoga book, and how we know is that throughout the story, you'll see Mia in the corner practicing a different pose that goes with a keyword that's in blue in the story. So as I read through the story, I'll point out the pose that goes with the keyword so that you at home can act out the story as we go along. Okay, so Mia's mountain hike. So for a moment before we start, think about what this story might be about. So we know it's about going to the mountains. What do you think she might see or do up in the mountains in the forest? Mia's mountain hike. Mia loved the forest. She loved looking for animals, swimming in the lake, and having lunch outside. But her absolute favorite thing to do in the forest was to go hiking with Auntie Lisa. They would leave the city sounds behind and enter the magical forest world. And I'm curious, do you live in the city like Auntie Lisa and Mia, or do you live more out near the forest? At the head of the trail, Mia grabbed Auntie Lisa's hand. She smiled and then led her aunt down the mountain path. They were off on their next adventure. And so when we come to mountain, we're going to practice mountain pose. Come to standing tall with your feet slightly apart and your arms just up to the side, and just take a moment to pretend you're a nice, strong, steady mountain. The sun's rays streamed through the sweet-smelling pine branches and lit the path. Mia even heard an eagle squawk. And now we're going to practice eagle pose. So stand on one leg, wrap the other leg around as far as you can. Take your arms and take the opposite arm, put it over as if you're an eagle standing. And actually, eagles are my favorite, very, very favorite animal. So it had to be in our story. We're going to practice eagle pose. Where do these nuts come from, Auntie Lisa? Mia asked. From the trees, Auntie Lisa shook a branch and acorns fell to the ground. Squirrels collect them for the winter. Mia gathered a pile of acorns and placed them into a tree hole. I wonder if squirrels get tired of eating acorns. And we're going to practice toga, which is a really interesting thing. Like, as if we're squirrels, we're going to take our toes and pretend to pick up those acorns. If you have some cotton balls, you can certainly pick them up with your toes and pretend they're acorns. And this is called toga. It's a great little exercise for our toes. Continuing down the path, they came across a misty waterfall. They put down their backpacks and stood silently, their eyes closed. Mia felt the cool spray wash over her, and she took a deep breath. This is magic, she thought. Practice standing forward bend as if we're the waterfall. Pretend the top of our body. Imagine it being like a waterfall. Imagine the magic of being out in nature. When the day got warmer, they stopped at the lake to cool off. They watched a family of ducks waddle past on the sandy beach. You can come down to a squat pose just like a duck. You can even waddle around like a duck. Pretend you're on the sandy beach. Auntie Lisa pointed across the lake at the mama bear and her cubs. Stay still, Mia, she said, pulling Mia close. Those bears are busy eating berries and aren't interested in us. Mia felt safe with her aunt, but she could feel her heart beating faster. You know, this book is based on a true story, and I can feel myself. I remember that moment, my heart beating fast with those bears. They watched and waited while the 3 black bears grazed in the meadow. We're going to practice downward facing dog pose, come up into an upside down V, and pretend that you're like the bears. Are bears dangerous, Auntie Lisa? Mia asked after the animals had ambled away. That's a good question. Bears aren't dangerous if we leave them alone. The same goes for most wild animals. Auntie Lisa patted her on the back. Oh, like cougars? Asked Mia. Yes, said her aunt. Now, if you look closely here, can you see that little cougar? I don't think they see the cougar. We're going to practice cat pose like a cougar. Come to all fours, arch your back, look down, and pretend you too are a cougar, hiding out in the forest. Mia heard a rustle in the grass. I think I just heard a snake. Come to cobra pose. Come from your belly, lift up your arms. Pretend you're a cobra, slithering in the grass. Life is so busy at home, Mia said, reveling in the peace and quiet. I'm wondering if you have a busy life like Mia does too. That's why it's important to take it easy once in a while. Auntie Lisa leaned back against a rock. Now we're going to pretend to be a rock in child's pose. Come back on your heels, take your arms along the side, and rest your forehead on the ground in front of you. Just take a moment in child's pose. Mia listened to the talk of a woodpecker. Isn't this the most beautiful day? Auntie Lisa beamed. I think that woodpecker agrees with you. We'll come to hero pose, sitting up on our heels, and we can even pretend to do the woodpecker, using your hands or using your head, just like the woodpecker. When they continued on their hike, Auntie Lisa pointed out a deer dashing up the hill beside them. Mia smiled. I love being in the forest, she thought. And now we'll practice seated twists as if we're a deer. Come to sitting, one leg over the other, and twist one way, and then you'll twist the other way, just like a deer. Taking one step at a time, they slowly climbed the rocky path. Mia could hear her own deep breathing. The deer had made the hike look easy, but Mia had to focus and keep telling herself that she could do it. So we'll sit cross-legged and take a moment to take a deep breath. Think about, have you ever climbed up a hill, up the sidewalk, up a road, where it kind of took your breath away as well? Finally came to a wooden bridge crossing a rushing river. Where does the water come from, Auntie Lisa? See how it comes down from the top of the mountain? Ice melts and rain falls, and then you have a river. There's so much to learn, thought Mia. And now we're going to practice the bridge pose. So come onto our back, bend our knees here, lift up your buttocks, put your arms underneath. Okay, and this is up into bridge pose. Let's pretend we're a bridge over that flowing river. At the top of the mountain, they used a flat rock as a table for their picnic. There's no better place to eat lunch, she thought. We're going to practice reverse tabletop pose. So come to sitting on your buttocks, bend your knees, then lift up your buttocks, keep your arms really straight, and pretend you're a table where they're going to have their picnic. After lunch, they lingered at the summit. Mia lay back and gazed at the blue sky. The world seemed so big, and she felt so small. Can we go for another hike soon? Mia asked. You bet, said Auntie Lisa with a wink. And as we end all of our yoga books, this is resting pose. Lay back with your arms spread out and your legs spread out. Close your eyes if that's comfortable, and just take a quick moment to relax. Think about all the things you saw on your forest yoga journey. And here's a picture of all the keywords, all the things you saw on your forest yoga story. Thank you so much for joining me for Yoga Story Time with Mia's Mountain Hike. Hopefully see you soon.